What's up, everyone? I just watched Fast and Furious 6 and built up to F9, so let's review it. Real quick, before we get into the review, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think of Fast and Furious 6, and this is going to be a spoiler review for the movie, so you have been warned. Anyways, let's get into the video. So after the events of Fast 5, the group is split up in different areas around the world and really living their own lives with obviously all the money they got from the heist in Fast 5. But when Hobbs has another job for the group, he calls them all back, and he's essentially tracking a group of criminals led by Owen Shaw and Letty, who's apparently still alive. So that's really the plot of the movie, and obviously it evolves from there, and there's lots of action, as you expect from a Fast and Furious movie. So overall, this movie is pretty solid. It really takes the Fast 5 concept and really just repeats it here, where we have, the whole group coming together to do one mission, and really, I think it works again. I like the concept in Fast 5, and I don't mind them repeating here, and obviously they do repeat it more after this, but it works. I really like this group of characters, and it really works to make these plots more enjoyable and make these plots interesting. And I just really think with Fast 5 they found a concept that works and can be repeated, and I think that was absolutely the method going into this one. And it's just because it feels very similar to Fast 5 in a lot of ways. The plot of this movie is actually pretty good and interesting. It also helps that it has personal ties with Dom and Letty, and obviously the return of Letty after Dom thought she was dead. Obviously it does stuff with that, and it's just a really interesting plot. I like Luke Evans as the main villain in this movie, and it's actually cool that this movie has a notable main villain, where this franchise typically isn't known for its villains. It's cool that in this movie, there is a notable villain. Obviously, Dwayne Johnson was the villain in Fast 5, kind of, but by the end he was the hero. So this movie has Luke Evans as the villain, and he's the villain throughout the entire movie. I like that. I think that's something this franchise needs, because villains are awesome, and I really enjoy his character in this movie. But it's not like an amazing and super interesting plot. It's good enough, and it gets the job done. Once again, as really being a follow-up to Fast 5 and being a very similar movie to Fast 5, really just almost copying the formula. Not quite, but it's very similar. As usual, the entire cast of characters is great in this movie. Dom and Brian are amazing as like the buddy duo in the lead roles, and really the whole group is just really enjoyable to watch, and it's really fun to have them all together. And I mentioned this in my Fast 5 review, but the addition of Dwayne Johnson is a much welcome addition. I really enjoy him in this movie more than I did even in Fast 5, and he's really one of the lead roles in this movie, and I like how much screen time he gets. Obviously he's Dwayne Johnson, so he's gonna get screen time, but I like his character quite a bit. He's very interesting and really comes into this series as kind of the action star kind of guy, and that's what he brings to this franchise. But just this whole group of characters, when they're together, is very enjoyable and very watchable, and I just really like how these movies evolved to have this entire group that they kind of built over the years, just put them all in one movie together, and it just works so well. I really like so many of these characters, particularly Han and Roman. I find Roman hilarious, and I find Han a super interesting character. But the whole cast is great in this movie, and it really shows. The action in this movie is once again ridiculous, like Fast 5, where it's just crazy over-the-top action. Though I do really enjoy it. It's a ton of fun to watch, and I mentioned it in the Fast 5 review, but the set pieces they create are just really impressive. How they come up with this stuff that they do, like the tank on the highway, with the situations that they come up with the tank, and then the plane scene at the end. It's just really like kind of crazy stuff they come up with, but very enjoyable to watch. And it's really clever how they use cars in the action in this movie, because it's kind of pays respect to what this franchise originally was, being an action franchise, being a car franchise, I mean. But like, so they do find ways to keep the cars involved in the action and not just having it, being like normal action. There's still like chase scenes, and they use the cars in the action. That's what I'm trying to say. So they do that pretty cleverly, and I really enjoy that about it, because it keeps the action in this franchise kind of unique, because once again it uses cars quite a bit, and there's not a ton of like shooting guns, punching people action. There's not a ton of it. It's definitely in this movie, and more so than it has been in previous films. Fast 5 as well, I'm in the same boat with that, and I don't mind that at all. I'm fine with these movies becoming action movies and just straight action movies. I don't really mind that. I like them being crazy and over the top. It can get a little too much, especially with like there's a scene where I think Letty got like thrown off the highway, and then Dom like dove across the highway to catch her. I thought that was pretty stupid. I mean, they're like superheroes at this point, with this kind of stuff they're doing and surviving. But overall, the action in this movie was really good, as usual from a Fast and the Furious movie. But on the other hand, I didn't like the racing in this movie. It's pretty much a forgotten concept within these movies. In Fast 5 and in this one, they just kind of include this like kind of half-assed racing scene just to kind of satisfy the racing fans. It doesn't work. I'd rather them just not do it than kind of like half do it with the racing. It was a pretty lame scene, and they just really the racing. It's kind of like the memory of the franchise. They kind of use it in that way, where it's not really what these characters are about anymore. They kind of use it as what they used to be. And I don't mind, and I prefer that rather than just, forcing in a racing scene just to please the fans who like the earlier movies more. But these movies have become absolutely crazy with the action and the plot, and to me, honestly, that's fine. It allows for more creative freedom from the director and the writers to really just create things that are really fun and really entertaining. They don't really have to worry about being realistic, or not being too unrealistic, I guess would be the better term. So I think that works in this case. I'm not always a big fan of unrealistic action, but in this movie it works. And really, these characters have become like superheroes. These movies kind of feel like superhero movies in a way. And like if you're looking at like not Marvel or DC superhero movies, these would probably be like the closest thing to them with how these characters are, especially once again in the later ones, Fast 5 and up. So I personally don't mind that at all. I think it helps the franchise and it evolved the franchise to a point where you kind of know what to expect from these movies, and they're not just wild cards like they were in the middle bunch of movies. On the negative side for this movie, I only have 2 complaints, and the first one is I didn't really like the Letty plot. They brought her back to life, which was fine, I guess. Her death kind of sucked in Fast and Furious, so it wasn't really like they were undoing a great death or something. It was hard to remember her death anyways because it was so quick in Fast and Furious. But I didn't like the thing that her memory was gone, and that kind of hurt her character, because by the end of the movie, Vin Diesel was dating her again. It felt off because she didn't remember anything. It didn't work for me at all. Especially because they had Vin Diesel dating the cop from the Fast 5. That kind of made it weird. And then she just said, "Oh, you can have Letty, and I'm gonna leave." And then it didn't work for me, especially at the end there. So that was pretty unfortunate. And my only other complaint with the movie is I thought it ran a little too long. It's like 2 hours and 20 minutes, and it just didn't feel like the plot warranted that. It just felt like it just pandered too much and just didn't cut to the chase enough. It was a lot of just kind of talking in between talking scenes, and I didn't really like that. I like the action. I don't mind the dialogue scenes. It just was a lot of pointless stuff that really wasn't entertaining to watch. I don't think this movie was too boring. It just I thought it was a little long, and not a huge issue. I just wish it was maybe 10-20 minutes shorter. They just really don't cut to the chase with this movie in particular, and the runtime adds up. But nonetheless, I did have a really good time with this movie. It's not the best movie in the franchise, and it's certainly not trying to be, but it's just a lot of fun, and it's really entertaining, and it really takes everything great about Fast 5 and implements it into this movie, and really creates a formula for the franchise to come, where this is a formula that every single movie after this is going to try to copy, because it works. And I love having all these characters together, and it warrants for some really awesome and fun action that's completely ridiculous but a complete blast to watch. The plots are a lot stronger than they used to be in the franchise, and just really strong and intriguing throughout the entire movie. So I'm going to give Fast and Furious 6 3.5 out of 5 stars and 76%. Anyway, so that's going to do it for my review of Fast and Furious 6. Make sure you tell me down below what you thought of Fast and Furious 6. Did you enjoy it? Did you not? And be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And stay tuned for my review of Furious 7. I'm going to be reviewing that in a few days here, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Anyways, as always, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.